I definitely understand feeling nervous about a Trump loss. I am feeling nervous about a Trump loss. I was feeling very confident for a while, basically until Biden dropped out of the race, and ever since then, I have been feeling less confident and more nervous. And I think we all knew, that however it was going to happen, he wasn't going to be the nominee, and sure enough, here we are. I don't have a lot of words of wisdom about what to do with a Trump loss. I think the only thing we can and should do right now for the next couple of months and some change is to vote, to engage with this election as if the polling that we are hearing and seeing is true, but to keep the heart and the optimism that it's not true. So fight as if we are behind, but keep the optimism and the heart that the fight isn't over yet, because it's not. It's not the day after the election. The fight is far from over. I think the other thing to remember, and I forget this too sometimes, and I know you know this, but there are so many other things on the ballot besides the presidential ticket, and it's important to vote America First down ballot. Your local politicians and your local government affect your life far more than the president does. At least that's the way that it should be. That's the way it should be. It doesn't feel like that's the way it is anymore. It feels like the president is affecting our day-to-day life, but that's not the way that it's meant to be. And also, even if Trump takes the White House, God willing, we need Congress too. We need Congress too. So it's important to remember that there are other things on this ballot besides the presidential ticket, however which way that's going right now. I'm really worried about a Kamala Harris presidency for lots of reasons, not least because I think it sets a dangerous precedent to the powers that be, just like the COVID tyranny, that they can do certain things and we'll accept it. They can install a nominee, and not only will we accept it, but we will vote for her, and we will vote her into the highest office in the land. So I am actually very worried about a Kamala Harris presidency for many reasons. But I have a faith in God, and I know that's going to sound trite to a lot of people who are non-believers. Listen, I'm a really bad Christian. I struggle with what I actually do and don't believe in when it comes to scripture, just being honest. But at the end of the day, I do believe in something bigger than myself. I do believe in a Father in heaven. I believe that good wins. I believe that God wins. I believe, in fact, that God has already won. And if you don't have that right now, I don't know how you survive this time, because it does feel very uncertain. It does feel very unprecedented in many ways. So that is something to really pray over if you're kind of feeling like you don't have that, or you definitely feeling like you don't have that. Last two things I'll say is it's important, I think, that we vote early. Not all of us can vote day of. I think that we do have to use the new rules to our advantage, as much as we might not like it. One of the things about waiting until day of to vote is things happen day of. Things happen on election day, bad weather, emergencies, etc. And if the other team is voting early and voting by mail and yada yada, then those emergencies, the bad weather, whatever it is, doesn't affect them as much as it affects us. So I actually do think we need to vote early, vote by mail, that kind of thing. And then the very, very last thing, bring someone with you to vote. Bring someone with you who you know didn't vote in the 2022 midterms or even in 2020. Bring your apolitical friend. Just bring someone. We all know people who don't vote, who didn't vote, who've lost faith in voting, who never vote. Bring them, okay? Christians don't vote enough. Men don't vote as much as women, and we know that men are more conservative, typically more Republican than women. We need to vote. We're too big to rig, like Trump says. That is true. And another thing that bites us is we don't trust elections, which I get, but the other side doesn't struggle with that as much. They trust elections and they get out and they vote. And when we don't vote, it doesn't help us. It really doesn't help us. We have to vote in record numbers. We have to vote overwhelmingly. So I know that none of that was really about what to do if a Trump loses. But right now, I'm hopeful that he won't. I think this fight is far from over, and this is the greatest nation the world has ever seen. I believe that God is with this nation despite our faults, and I do not think that that it is anywhere even close to over. So that's what I'm focused on from now until November, and I hope the same for you. And I hope that you can maintain a level of optimism and peace and calm and strength. God bless.